My name is Shinko. Welcome to my channel. We have been reading The Warriors Into the Wild by Erin Hunter. We're finishing up chapter 10 and we're going right into 11. We left off that Firepaw, Greypaw, and Ravenpaw are doing their assessments. Tiger Claw is keeping a close eye, so he says. Well, Firepaw ran into Smudge, his old friend that he grew up with as a kitty pet. And it turns out it was true. That if Firepaw had stayed with his two legs as Rusty, he probably would have been taken to the vet, the cutter, and neutered. Let's continue. Smudge tipped his head to one side and stared at Firepaw, clearly confused. I should be getting home soon, he meowed. Mealtime is coming. Go carefully, Smudge. Firepaw leaned forward and gave his old friend an affectionate lick between the ears. Smudge nuzzled him in return. Stay alert. There may be other cats in the area who's not as fond as kitty pets. I mean, house cats, as I am. Smudge's ears flicked nervously at these words. He looked around cautiously and leaped onto the trunk of a fallen tree. Goodbye, Rusty, he meowed. I'll tell everyone at home that you're okay. Bye, Smudge, meowed Firepaw. Enjoy your meal. He watched the white tip of Smudge's tail disappear over the edge of the tree. In the distance, he could hear the rattle of dried food being shaken and a two-legged voice calling. Firepaw turned, his tail high, and started back towards his own home, sniffing the air as he went. I'll find a finch or two here, he decided. Then I'll catch something else on the way back through the pines. He felt bursting with energy after meeting Smudge and realizing just how lucky he was to live in the clan. He looked up at the branches above him and began to stalk silently across the forest floor, every sense alert. Now, he just needed to impress Blue Star and Tiger Claw, and the day would be perfect. Chapter 11. Firepaw returned with a chaffinch groomed firmly between his teeth. He dropped it in front of Tiger Claw, who stood waiting in the hollow. You're the first one back, meowed the warrior. Yeah, but I've got loads more prey to fetch, Firepaw meowed quickly. I buried it back. I know exactly what you did, Tiger Claw growled. I've been watching you. A swish of bushes announced Greypaw's return. He was carrying a small squirrel in his mouth, which he dropped beside Firepaw's chaffinch. Yuck! He spat. Squirrels are too furry. I'll be picking hairs out of my teeth all evening. Tiger Claw paid no attention to Greypaw's grumbling. Ravenpaw's late, he observed. We'll give him a bit longer and then return to camp. But what if he's been bitten by an adder? Firepaw protested. Then it's his own fault, Tiger Claw replied coldly. There's no room for fools in ThunderClan. They waited in silence. Greypaw and Firepaw exchanged glances, worried about Ravenpaw. Tiger Claw sat motionless, apparently lost in his own thoughts. Firepaw was the first to scent Ravenpaw's arrival. He jumped to his paws as the black cat leaped into the clearing, looking unusually pleased with himself. Dangling from his mouth was the long, diamond pattern body of an adder. Ravenpaw, are you okay? Firepaw called. Hey, meowed Greypaw, rushing forward to admire Ravenpaw's catch. Did that bite you? I was too quick for it, Ravenpaw purred loudly. Then he caught Tiger Claw's eye and fell silent. Tiger Claw fixed all three excited apprentices with a cold stare. Come on, he said shortly. Let's collect the rest of your prey and get back to camp. Firepaw, Greypaw, and Ravenpaw entered the camp, strolling behind Tiger Claw. Their impressive day's catch hung from their mouths, though Ravenpaw kept tripping over his dead snake. As they emerged from the gorse into the camp, a group of young kits scrambled out of the nursery to watch them pass. Look, Firepaw heard one of them say. Apprentices just back from hunting. He recognized the little tabby Yellow Fang had hissed at the day before. Sitting next to him was a fluffy gray kit, no more than 2 moons old. A tiny black kit and a small tortoiseshell stood beside them. Isn't that the kitty pet? Squeaked the gray kit. Yeah, look at his orange fur, meowed the black one. They say he's a good hunter, the tortoiseshell added. He looks a bit like Lionheart. Do you suppose he's as good as him? I can't wait to start my training, mewed the tabby. I'm going to be the best warrior ThunderClan has ever seen. Firepaw lifted his chin, feeling proud of the kit's admiring comments. He followed his 2 friends into the center of the clearing. An adder! Graypaw meowed again as the apprentices dropped their catch for the other cats to share. What should I do with it? Asked Ravenpaw, sniffing the snake's long body as it lay beside the heap. Can you eat adders? Asked Graypaw. Trust you to think of your stomach, Firepaw joked, butting Graypaw with his head. Well, I wouldn't want to eat it, murmured Ravenpaw. I mean, my mouth tastes pretty foul after carrying it back. Let's put it on a tree stump then, suggested Graypaw, so that Dustpaw and Sandpaw could see it when they get back. They each carried a piece of their fresh kill and the adder back to their den. Graypaw carefully placed the adder on the stump, arranging the snake so that it could be seen clearly from all sides. Then they ate. When they finished, they sat close together to groom one another and talk. I wonder who Bluestar will choose to go to the gathering, Firepaw mewed. It'd be a full moon tomorrow. Sandpaw and Dustpaw has been twice already, replied Graypaw. Perhaps Bluestar will choose one of us this time, mewed Firepaw. After all, we've been training for almost 3 moons now. But Sandpaw and Dustpaw are still the eldest apprentices, Ravenpaw pointed out. Firepaw nodded. And this gathering will be an important one. It'll be the first time the clans have met since WindClan disappeared. No cat knows what ShadowClan's going to do about it. What to say about it. Tigerclaw's low meow interrupted them. You were right, youngster. The warrior had strolled up to them unannounced. By the way, Firepaw, he added smoothly, Bluestar wants to see you. Firepaw looked up, startled. Why would Bluestar want to see him? Now, if you could spare the time. Tigerclaw meowed. Firepaw jumped up immediately and bounded up across the clearing towards Bluestar's den. Bluestar was sitting outside, her tail flicking restlessly back and forth. When she saw Firepaw, she stood up and looked steadily down at him. Tigerclaw has told me that he saw you talking with the cat from the 2-leg place today, she meowed quietly. But, Firepaw began, he said that she began by fighting with this cat, but ended up sharing tongues with it. That's true, Firepaw admitted, feeling his fur prickle defensively. But he was an old friend. We grew up together. He paused and then swallowed. When I was a kitty pet. Bluestar looked at him for a long moment. Do you miss your old life, Firepaw? She asked. Think carefully now. No. How could Bluestar think that? Firepaw wondered. His head was spinning. What was Bluestar trying to make him say? Do you wish to leave the clan? Of course not. Firepaw was shocked by her question. Bluestar didn't seem to hear the passion in his answer. She shook her head, looking suddenly old and tired. I won't judge. I won't judge you if you leave us, Firepaw. Perhaps I expected too much of you. Perhaps my judgment has been clouded by the clan's need for new warriors. Panic swept through Firepaw at the thought of leaving the clan forever. But my place is here. This is my home, he protested. I need more than that, Firepaw. I need to be able to trust in your loyalty to ThunderClan, especially now that it looks like ShadowClan is planning an attack. We don't have room for anyone who isn't sure whether their heart lies in the past or the present. Firepaw took a deep breath. chose his next words carefully. When I saw Smudge today, that's the house cat Tiger Claw saw me talking with. I saw what life would have been like if I had stayed with my two legs. I felt happy that I had not stayed. I was proud that I left. He held Blue Star's gaze without flinching. Meeting Smudge made me certain I made the right decision. I could never have been satisfied with the soft life of a kitty pet. Blue Star looked closely at him for a moment. Her eyes narrowed. Then she nodded. Very well, she said. I believe you. Firepaw dipped his head respectfully and let out a silent sigh of relief. I spoke to Yellowfin earlier, meowed Blue Star in a lighter tone. She thinks a lot of you. She's a wise old cat. Old she-cat, you know. And I suspect she wasn't always bad-tempered, indeed. I think that I could grow to like her. Firepaw felt an unexpected glow of pleasure at those words. Maybe, in caring for Yellowfin, his admiration for her had grown into affection, despite the ill temper. Whatever the reason, he was glad Blue Star did like her too. But there is something about her that I still don't trust, Blue Star went on quietly. She will stay with ThunderClan for now, but remain a prisoner. The queens will care for her. You must concentrate on your training. Firepaw nodded and waited to be dismissed, but Blue Star hadn't finished. Firepaw, although you showed bad judgment today in talking to a house cat, Tiger Claw was impressed by your hunting skills. In fact, he reported that you all did well. I am pleased with your progress. You will come to the gathering, all three of you. Firepaw could hardly stand still. His body tingled with excitement. The gathering! What about Sandpaw and Dustpaw? He meowed. They will remain behind and guard the camp, replied Blue Star. Now you may go. She flicked her long tail to show he was dismissed and returned to her grooming. Graypaw and Ravenpaw looked stunned to see Firepaw bounding happily towards them. They had been waiting nervously for him beside the tree stump. Firepaw sat down and looked at his friends. Well? Graypaw demanded. What did she say? Tiger Claw told us you've been sharing times with the kitty pet this morning, burst out Ravenpaw. Are you in trouble? No, although Blue Star wasn't pleased, Firepaw admitted ruefully. She thought I might want to leave ThunderClan. You don't, do you? Asked Ravenpaw. Of course he doesn't, meowed Graypaw. Firepaw gave his gray friend an affectionate swipe. Yeah, you would hate that. You need me to catch mice for you. All you can catch these days are old hairy squirrels. Graypaw dodged out of the way at Firepaw's blow and reared up on his back legs to retaliate. You'll never guess what else she said, Firepaw went on. He was too excited to waste time play fighting. Graypaw immediately dropped onto all four paws. What? He asked. We're going to the gathering! Gonna end it there. Wow, he got in trouble, but hey, he got out of it. Kinda. So, the last few weeks, well, not the last few weeks, last few days, I uploaded my videos with a kind of second agenda with Roe versus Wade being potentially overturned in the United States and the effects that could have. You know, it's stressful when you're just sitting back and seeing how far the country has fallen. And I didn't upload yesterday because I really was just tired. I'm just tired at this point, honestly. Because the newest thing, oh my God, the 11-point plan, the 11-step plan to save America again, that the Senator of Florida decided to release. Steps that include finishing the border wall, naming it after previous President Trump, giving the president veto power over all, essentially, scrapping all of our current laws and rights within the next 5 years. And if it was a good law, Congress will stated again, among with the Pledge of Allegiance will be said in school. Despite your religion, whatever it is you believe, you're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. You're going to be able to, know the anthem and show respect